The reason why people are watching your YouTube videos but not booking calls is because you're not giving anybody any unique, new, novel ideas, new value that they haven't heard anywhere else. What you're likely doing if you're getting views but not booking sales calls is your content is safe, boring, and vanilla. It's the same stuff that everybody in your niche already says, and a lot of it is probably coming from ChatGPT AI slop, whether you're producing it or whether somebody else in the industry, a competitor, is doing it. There's nothing there to make the viewer stop and go, wow, that was both new and useful. If it's not both of those, if it's just new but not useful, or useful but they heard it somewhere else, it doesn't count. That's not going to book calls. And it kind of sucks because as creators, we're always drawn into like chasing vanity metrics like views, but they're two very different things. Views come from good packaging, having a good video idea, which is often wrapped up in the title. That's why I put title here. Title usually explains the idea of the video, but it's the title and the thumbnail that gets the click, that gets a view. That's it. But that's reach. It's not revenue. But getting clients is actually very different from getting views. To get clients, you have to say what I just said before, something new that they haven't heard before and something useful. That's what makes you the actual true authority. That's what makes you stand out from all the other guys reading AI slop out of a teleprompter with no soul and no passion. So by the end of this video, you're going to learn why this cookie cutter content will never book calls, no matter how good your editing is or your thumbnail, anything like that. And you're going to walk away with a clear strategy to scoop out these unique, valuable insights that are already in your head and embed them into your content. This is what's going to make you seem unique, new, novel, and actually be seen as an authority, not be seen as another commodity, boring creator, and actually book calls rather than just racking up views. I'm Casey Brown, by the way. I'm a YouTube strategist. I build content that actually books calls. I do this all day. And many of the clients that I have book up to 5 calls from each video that I produce for them. And if you want me to produce a video for free for you, the first one is on me. I'll research the idea, write the whole thing, make slides like this, do the editing, do the thumbnail, everything. All you have to do is record. If it performs well, we could talk about you graduating to a paying client, but we'll do a free one first. Information about that is in the description of the video below. So part 1, why obvious content is poison for booking calls. So when you go to ChatGPT and you're like, hey, I want to make a video about retirement income planning or growing my cold email industry, right? Let's use financial advisors, right? If 12 financial advisors say the same thing that they got from ChatGPT, which is, let's say, compound interest, right? Start investing early so that it can compound, and compound interest can work its magic. That's correct. That's fire advice. There's nothing wrong with saying, start saving early and, use compound interest. We all know about compound interest, but you're a commodity. It's not new. It's not particularly useful because it's old, tired advice, and there's nothing to make you stand out. In other words, your content is forgettable. You're agreeable. Everybody already knew what you said. You're not building authority. You're not getting people to go down the rabbit hole and binge watch your content. You're not turning viewers into super fans, and you damn sure ain't booking any sales calls. Another thing too about getting scripts that other people wrote for you, like a lot of financial advisors use content agencies that produce AI slop, or if you do your own AI slop, when you read it, your words, your delivery will have absolutely zero conviction. Like, can you tell that I'm passionate about using new, non-obvious advice? You probably never heard that term. You probably if you watch other videos on like how to grow a YouTube channel, they probably say like, you got to deliver value or something like that. But when you say things in a different way and you really harp on something, we'll talk about examples of people who have done this with Russell Brunson, Gary Vaynerchuk, then you're going to stand out a lot more. And when you're reading this generic AI slop that didn't actually come from you, it isn't something that you can tell that I'm passionate about. Hopefully you see the passion when I'm delivering this. Your delivery is hollow, you put them to sleep, and there's just no passion behind it. And yeah, you're not going to make any fans that way. Okay, so if the disease is old and obvious, as we've talked about, and the cure is new and valuable, this begs the question, how do I actually even do that? We basically have 2 ways to do it. Option A is to actually be the first person in your market to invent a whole new thing, a whole new way of talking about something, a whole new contrarian strategy or system or framework that has never been talked about ever before, and that's preferred. But a more realistic and an easier way to do this is to re-angle an old idea and an old concept so it's totally fresh. Now, I'm going to help you guys out with both. I'm going to help you out with option A, which a lot of you actually have completely contrarian, new and unique takes that go against the industry standard advice that you can actually back up with evidence because you, hopefully if you're watching this, are actually a true expert on your subject. And I'm going to show you examples on B where you're re-angling an old idea like a tried and true concept, but you're updating it for the 21st century. You're making it your own. You're putting your unique twist on it. You're naming it so it gets associated with you, like with Russell Brunson and funnels. We're going to talk about that. And I'm even going to walk you through step by step in a second, a full AI prompt that will scoop out these new non-obvious takes from your brain that are already there. So you can inject that into your content and actually have it sound unique, human, your own voice, obvious and not generic AI slop. Okay, so let's talk about Russell Brunson and funnels. He did not invent this at all. So what a funnel actually is, and there's a sales funnel where it's awareness, then they like you, then they become fans, then they become super fans. I'm not talking about a sales funnel like that. I'm talking about his software, ClickFunnels, which is basically an upsell software. You buy something and then with one click, you can add something else to your cart. So let's say you buy a sleep supplement, then with a one-click upsell says, hey, you bought the sleep supplement. Would you like another bottle for 50% off? And that gets a higher AOV, average order value, and you just make more money per buyer. But here's the thing. Russell Brunson did not invent upsells. He did not invent funnels. This is an old idea. Since the 1940s, McDonald's has been asking you, would you like fries with that? But Russell Brunson updated this tried and true, this old concept of an upsell. Would you like to add a large Coke with that? Would you like to add fries with that? You got, 3 tires. Would you like the 4th one for free? That's a joke. Obviously you need 4 tires, but now we associate in our brains, Russell Brunson, he owns the term funnel. He owns the term, one-click upsell or upsell, even though he absolutely did not invent it. He just updated it and gave it a name and even created a whole branding and software around it. Another great example would be Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary Vaynerchuk, or Gary V as he's called on social media, named the rhythm for give a lot of value before you ask your audience to buy something. Now, cavemen and ancient people probably understood the concept of look, before asking for a sale, I want to build a relationship. I want to give some free advice. I actually want to be helpful before I ask for a sale. But he had a book called Jab, 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 Right Hook, which is, the jabs. It's like boxing, right? Before you can land a really big kind of haymaker, big punch in boxing, generally, unless you're Mike Tyson, you have to soften them up with some jabs first. So his analogy was jab, 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 which gives, give free value again and again, over and over again. And then the right hook is one big ask. Now, this is very obvious advice now, but when the book came out, it was a fairly new thing because, you watch a lot of internet marketing tutorials, or you'd buy biz ops and courses that were just, sell, 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 sell. And yeah, you think of this as okay, this is obvious now, but this book is, I don't know, it came out 10 years ago or more. And at the time, it was a fairly unique and novel concept. Oh, I should build an audience, make them know and trust me, give a ton of value first, and then no matter what I try to sell them, they're going to buy it. So once again, Gary Vaynerchuk did not invent the idea of give value first, but he gave it as a named framework and added a lot of unique insights about it. And now with many digital marketers, especially if you're old school like me, been in this for longer than 10 years, you now associate the concept of give a lot of value first before you ask for a sale to Gary Vaynerchuk. All right, guys, now time for the biggest value drop of the whole video, a prompt and actually walking you through how to use it. That's going to scoop out these unique, non-obvious, new, fresh insights from your brain so you can use that to supercharge your content and make it not generic, useless, boring AI slop, but it'll sound like you, it'll be unique and novel, and it will actually book calls rather than just getting views. I'm gonna show it on my screen right now. Let's hop into it. Okay, guys, so here's the prompt on my screen right now. I'm gonna put it in Claude in a second. You're gonna see how it actually works. And like I said, this prompt is in the video description, so you can get it there. Now, I won't read the whole thing. We're gonna show the results on Claude in just a second, but it basically says to interview you one question at a time to scoop out these unique, non-obvious insights, pieces of advice, opinions, positioning that you have about a particular subject. And it could just be the subject matter in general. Like in this example, we did retirement income planning in general. But speaking of the finance niche, you can make it, if you're doing a specific video about sequence of returns risk or the 4% rule, or something about should you just put your money into the market or should you buy an annuity, different types of annuities. So these can be for a specific video or for just your niche in general. And the more of these that you can answer and then export, Claude and ChatGPT, you can just literally, highlight and copy. They also give you the option to download these outputs as markdown files that you can create a custom project in or just upload in a chat window to get better responses so you won't get AI slop. Now, I actually changed the prompt when I put it in here just to make things happen more quickly because it says to go one interview question at a time. But I said, you know what? Actually, just ask me all 15 questions at once. And it actually pushed back and still wanted to go, question by question. But just for the sake of this video, I said, look, I'm going to push back, Claude. Look at me. I am the captain now. And I said, no, dog, I'm the human. AI is going to obey us for at least, the foreseeable future. Ask me all 15 questions at once. And it's saying, the 4% rule, the bucket strategy, delay Social Security to 70, pick the sacred cow you'd most like to slaughter and tell me why the consensus is wrong. So again, a little bit of a weird word wording, but it's just saying like there's all these things, the 4% rule, the bucket strategy, the delay Social Security in tier 70. Which one of these do you think is BS? And tell me why the consensus is wrong. What's another one? What do clients believe about their own retirement that is confidently, expensively false? The thing they'd argue with the most. What's the most repeated piece of retirement income advice in your field that you think is flat wrong? And when did you last watch it cost someone real money? So as you can see here, like I said, the whole goal of this is through your answers, it's going into your brain and it's scooping out, how do you help people? What do you think is wrong? How would you actually advise somebody to start a cold email agency in 2026 or grow personal injury legal practice? And if you just rely on ChatGPT or any LLM for that matter, any AI model without going through this step, it's going to give you generic AI slop. It's not going to have any soul. It's not going to have anything that's unique to you. It's not going to sound like you. It's not going to be congruent to what they're hearing on sales calls from you, the content not matching that. And it's going to cure all the problems that we've talked about in this video, such as not delivering enough value and not giving them new, unique value, new gold nuggets, new insights that they haven't heard anywhere else before. So I think I've showed enough of this now. When you're done here, you can hit copy, put it into a Google Doc, and then when it's in a Google Doc, you can just download the Google Doc. Most LLM models, AI models will accept a Google Doc, or you can hit, when you hit dial, here, I'll just show it real quick. I always keep a temp files thing, hit new, Google Doc, you would paste in the questions with your answers below it, right? So you just say, I believe, blah, 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 blah. And then you can hit file, download as markdown, MD file. It's basically like a plain text file with no formatting. And that's what AI can read the easiest. Okay, I think we've covered this enough. This is how you feed an LLM. Keep saying that. An AI, Claude, ChatGPT, all these things to actually write with videos, create scripts for you that are actually unique and have your own personal, non-obvious insights. Hey guys, we're back at my slides right now. And I do recommend you actually go through the entire interview process. You don't just get all the 15 questions at once. And you do remember you can do it for your niche in general and about a specific video idea to help you write a specific video. And now I want to show one more example. All right, so I'm in my browser now and I had ChatGPT create some AI slop on the same topic that we've just been covering, which is why people watch your videos but don't book sales calls. And I said, yeah, give me a bullet points for a YouTube script titled again, why people watch but don't book sales calls. And as you can see, this advice isn't bad advice. You never talk about the problem you actually solve. Is that why you guys aren't booking calls? Imagine if I just made my YouTube script and I was delivering this content. Well, you see guys, I'm this YouTube strategist and you're never talking about the problem you actually solve. Prospects don't buy tactics, they buy outcomes. Or, your videos don't create urgency. Yeah, for a video sales letter, you got to create urgency. I wouldn't want to buy, a guy who's teaching me how to write cold emails and do, cold outreach to people if he's like, it has to be so urgent, do this now, book a call now, this and that. I don't know. Or is your issue, you're solving tiny problems, how to save 10 minutes a day? Or here's a good one. You're positioning yourself as the teacher, not the guide. Teachers explain, guides. Okay, I'm giving you guys the exact prompts. I'm telling you how you can use Claude or ChatGPT to interview you. I'm showing you examples of how to scoop out the new non-obvious insights. I'm implanting the idea, which is the true cure in your head of why you're not getting sales calls. You guys think well, I'm not getting enough views probably, or I don't know what you think, but trust me, if you're getting views, but not sales calls, even if you're getting 150 to 250 views per video, that is plenty. If you're in a niche where you deliver a high ticket service, where you solve a big problem for business owners that makes them money, growing a legal practice, financial advice, retirement income planning, anything, and you're getting views, but you're not able to turn them into buyers, it's because of that. You're not giving people new, unique, valued insights. Yeah, ChatGPT never said you're optimizing for views. Okay, that's a good one. I talk about that too, but that's kind of obvious advice now, right? Your call to action feels like an afterthought. You're not using proof. You're positioned as the teacher. There's nothing in here about you're giving AI slop answers that are not unique to you. You're another commodity creator. You sound like a little bobblehead speaking AI slop into a teleprompter. So I've showed you how to actually get those unique insights from your brain. I've also told you how you can take tried and true advice, like in the Russell Brunson example, like in the Gary Vaynerchuk example, and name a framework, actually break something down better than anybody else has broken it down, give it a name. Another example would be the value equation by Alex Hormozy, which I just so happen to have on the screen right now, which is the dream outcome that your prospect wants response times the perceived likelihood that they'll actually get the dream outcome that you're promising them, divided by the time delay, how long it takes to get that dream outcome, and the effort and sacrifice that they have to do to get that dream outcome, like stop eating donuts or stop eating pudding. Alex Hormozi didn't invent like what a good offer is, or well, I take it back. He has some new insights that are completely unique and valuable to him about creating offers. But point being is you could just take a framework that's already existed, upsells, and name it. So again, you be the judge. Would you rather watch a video that says like, you know, you're solving tiny problems, bro, or you're being the teacher, not the guide, or your call to action, you know, it just feels like an afterthought? Or did you actually prefer what we talked about in this video? Because like I just said, and we're back in my slides right now, this video was not just generic AI slop. This video hopefully gave you some new insights, which is the real problem. You're not giving unique, non-obvious insights. It gave you a prompt to actually surface those and bring those out. And it gave you examples how you can package your own off of concepts that have already existed for hundreds of years. Now, if you like this video and you want some help or you want me to do a video for you, check the link in the description. Like I already said, I'll do the whole first video for free. Otherwise, just subscribe for more great content like this and check out the video that popped up on the screen right now about how to book high-ticket clients from YouTube. That's all for today, boys. Cheers.